right, welcome to another episode of On Foodable Weekly here from our remote set in Chicago. And today we're going to be talking about supply chain optimization. Now, operators around the world are dealing with supply chain issues on a day in, day out basis. I've got three great experts here with me today. We'll start with you, Jeff. What do you do at Kinetic 12?
I'm the managing partner of Kinetic 12. We are a consultancy focused on food and the food service industry. So this is right in our sweet spot, and we're excited to be part of it.
Anna Marie, you're here with Carey Foods, so
I am.
What's your role there?
My name's Anna Marie Algier, and I am one of the account managers for the national chain, part of the Carey Foodservice team.
Cullen, Dot Foods.
Dot Foods.
What do you do over there?
Sure, I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, running all the food service channel, international markets, and e-commerce.
All right, well, let's just jump right into it and kind of go into the first area, which is how did supply chain optimization really begin? What is it? How did it begin? Jeff.
So supply chain optimization, the need for it was really driven out of previous best practice that IFMA developed, and it was all about operator collaboration. So that was the genesis for it. It was identified as a critical need for both operators, for manufacturers, and for distribution. And it's really to address the critical issues of all the stakeholders,
right?
Identify those and really come up with best practice solutions.
Okay, so when you look at just the team that's involved, who all is involved in how this program works?
There's a couple of critical layers of people that are involved. The first one is the development board. So that is chain operators, manufacturers like Carey and Anne Marie, the distribution community, Cullen and Dot Foods, and so we've got a great mix of all the key stakeholders together. And then we've also got a group of people that help behind the scenes and help run the best practice. So first that would be IFMA as the leader of that. Kinetic 12 partnered with IFMA. Javi, which is a global supply chain optimization company, and Data Central, which is a food service research company, which provides a lot of the research needed for this event.
So that brings up a good point. You've got some data from Data Essentials, you've got Kinetic 12 involved, you've got distribution involved, manufacturing involved, operators involved. That's got to be a breadth of information. I would think somewhat of an overload. How do you guys manage all of that coming together? Is it done through committee?
Well, and let me give you an example. At our very first SCO workshop, I was at the beginning of an LTO project.
Okay.
And I realized through our discussions with the industry leaders that I was only getting a portion of the information coming into me, maybe from several processors, if you would.
Okay.
I realized I had to pull back and get a top-line view of what the operators' expectations were, so we could combine our efforts and understand and manage those expectations.
Yeah. All right, so Cullen, we're going to get into this is really kind of going in from a distribution standpoint, like Dot Foods.
Sure.
How do you guys play a big role in this?
Well, instead of being in the beginning of the process, we're actually in the middle of the process.
So now you're in the start.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
So the key is, and really distribution in general, whether it's last mile distribution, whether it's redistribution, who would buy from a manufacturer and sell to a distributor who then would go to the operator, the key is it is all about the information. And instead of the data component that you'd start, instead of it being overwhelming, the reality is what the SCO has done is to allow it to be more targeted. So for a long time, we've gotten lots of data from lots of different stakeholders, manufacturers, operators, distributors alike, but is it really the data that matters? And what the SCO does is it brings people together, collaborates, so we understand each other's challenges so that the data that's being sent to each other is relevant and can be acted upon.
So much more like context. I mean, we deal with this on Foodable Labs a lot, even though you get a lot of information from one particular culinary trend or one category of chefs or operators. If you don't put context around it, it's so difficult to really understand that. So I could see your point there. Anna Marie and Cullen, why is this important for companies really to kind of engage and participate in these studies? What's going to be kind of the payoff for them?
Well, I think, industry studies like the SCO really provide guidelines for channeling that connection between all the stakeholders who are responsible for providing that right product at the right time.
Yeah.
So in order for us to understand and develop those parameters, we really need the industry leaders to be willing to come to the table and have these discussions like we are at SCO.
So once you've identified this, you've got operators in the room or working with you, you've got manufacturers, you've got that data. Now you've got challenges potentially. What kind of challenges are you starting to see that you can address?
Well, I think first of all, it's the forecasting. You know, it really starts with the forecast, and forecasting's tough. So I think everybody would say the silver bullet is, well, if the forecast was right, then no problem. There really isn't a lot of planning that has to occur, and I think what we've all agreed to is that we have to come together with one primary assumption, that the forecast likely will not be accurate. It will get more accurate as we mine data.
So it's kind of learning.
It is. It's learning, and then speed to market, flexibility, being able to adjust, and what is going to occur from a contingency standpoint amongst all the stakeholders up front. Let's have those conversations, not while the fire's happening.
Right, yeah. Which, gosh, that's going to save so much money on the back end. From a manufacturing perspective, what challenges are you guys seeing when you deal with this?
Well, I think from a manufacturing perspective, especially from Carey Foodservice, for us, the forecast really does precede and take precedence over the pass-through. So for us, it's really how do we balance just-in-time manufacturing with the immediate need to have the menu offering now? That's a challenge for all of us.
Right. All right, so this is an interesting topic, one that I think, first of all, it's great that IFMA has kind of put all this together, trying to pull from the different disciplines of our industry to kind of solve this issue, which is huge. It sounds to me like you guys got a lot of work ahead of you. So
Just getting started.
That's going to be fun. Thank you so much for stopping in today. It's been fun.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having us.
Thanks for having us.